Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Looking ahead to the Week 4 slate in a massive Pac-12 matchup between two teams that we talked a lot about both these teams in the offseason as both the national media just giving a ton of love to USC and Oregon, and we get that. But these two teams are absolute sleepers. I mean, Utah back-to-back Pac-12 champions. They're certainly a contender in the Pac-12, but don't look past UCLA with Dante Moore at the helm. This offense looking extremely dynamic, playing some really good defense. These might be the two best teams in the Pac-12, or at least definitely at the top of the Pac-12. A very good matchup. Very excited to get into this one. Now, before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. The support for all these game breakdowns truly means a lot to the boys. If you do enjoy the content, you want to support the fellas, consider subscribing to the channel. But more importantly, let us know in the comment section what you guys think, whether you agree, whether you disagree with the takes. We love hearing from you guys. The best part about doing this, just chopping it up about football with you guys in the comment section, learning from you guys. Appreciate y'all rocking with the boys, Dill. Going to kick this one off to you. Dante Moore, the UCLA Bruins, heading on the road to a hostile Utah team. How are we feeling here?
And that's what you got to be excited about is to see how good Dante Moore really is. Because, you just watch
pretty dang good.
Yeah, and they're not playing like hammers by any stretch of the imagination yet. But, I mean, you can just – the pure arm talent he has, some of the throws he's made, just unbelievable. And we'll really see what he is now, because this is a very, very real test. Obviously, Utah's been pretty much the gold standard of defense in the Pac-12 for years. And this defense is really coming into its own after not a bad year last year, but a year that, again, very young and made some mistakes you don't typically see from Utah. I mean, this Utah defense, though, they're clicking right now.
Yeah, let's start with the UCLA offense. And I can tell you guys that my brother's love for Dante Moore, it's next level. I've gotten so many clips from him and Dante Moore passes. He's like a Dante Moore fan at this point, and there's a lot to like. I mean, Dante Moore absolutely dripping with the arm talent. Dill, I want to start with this UCLA offense going up against the Utah defense that, again, is dominant. But Dante Moore looks so in control and comfortable for a true freshman. The rumors of him coming out of high school are he's just college ready. This is a guy that started for 4 years at the high school level, dripping with arm talent, certainly looks the part early. But could you think of a better offense for a true freshman to come into? Chip Kelly, obviously just one of the offensive masterminds of the country, an elite run game. I mean, Carson Steele and TJ Harden averaging both over 8 yards per carry, and then one of the best wide receivers in the country in J. Michael Sturdivant. This is a perfect situation for Dante Moore to step into, and he's really cooking with gas with this UCLA offense here.
And this UCLA offensive line really hasn't shown the cracks I think we all kind of thought were possible. I mean, they lost some guys off a unit that wasn't incredible the year before, so I think we did all have a little bit of questions would they hold up at a level that they need to hold up on if this team's going to go win a Pac-12? And so far, so good, honestly. They're really running the ball well. And you're right. They haven't played real hammers on defense, but you're off the offensive line again. I think what you're seeing is it should be good enough in an offense that really is not wholly reliant on exceptional offensive line play. But that is one of the matchups I think you're very excited about, is to see how good they are.
And I mean, to credit Dante Moore, he's just getting the ball out really quick. And this is, again, no knock on the UCLA guys who were there in 2022. DTR is awesome. He's starting his NFL career pretty damn good too. Dante Moore just brings another element of kind of playmaking and that throwing ability, pushing the ball downfield. And then J. Michael Sturdivant also offers Jake Bobo was really good for UCLA last year. J. Michael is offering kind of a little bit of a different gear at that wide receiver position. And again, you're seeing UCLA just absolutely cook on offense. Now, Dill, we got to talk about this Utah defense. Again, our narrative going into this year is it was a young team last year. A lot of those guys are coming back. We expect this defense to be elite. And through the first 3 games with a really tough offense, especially the first 2 weeks, they've been absolutely nails. I mean, only giving up 2.8 yards per carry. That's a massive storyline. UCLA rushing attack against a very elite Utah defense against the run. Then only 56% completion percentage too. The front 7 dominating. And like you said, I wonder, rowdy environment in Utah, an elite front 7 for Utah on the defensive side of the ball. Can they kind of heat Dante Moore up and kind of make him look uncomfortable? Because through the first 3 games, you haven't seen Dante Moore uncomfortable yet.
Yeah, and again, he hasn't seen a defensive line like what Utah is going to bring in the type of pressure they play, that ultra aggressive defense and their ability to blitz pretty much anyone on the field who
yes,
and all of them can tackle and they hit and do what they have to do, along with the fact that you're looking at two safeties who are as good as anyone in the country. And that is one of the things I'm kind of looking for is Dante Moore and that UCLA offense, especially right up the middle in the seams, have really attacked teams effectively. You saw it obviously against Coastal. You saw it in that San Diego State game. I am wondering if I just don't know if that type of play, if that'll be as open as it was last, because those two in the middle, Bishop and Vaki, are just unbelievable players.
I was going to shout out Cole Bishop. This is about as high of a level of safety play that I've seen through the first 3 games. I mean, this dude is everywhere in terms of run support, getting his hands on football. Cole Bishop might be the best safety in the country right now, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating. He's just playing at such a high level. Another guy I want to shout out, Lander Barton. I think he's going to continue to kind of catch his stride as a young linebacker. This Utah defense loaded. Now, Dill, let's flip it because this UCLA defense, no slouch either. You take a look at what they're doing, only giving up 2 yards per carry, 58% completion percentage. I think is probably the best pass rush or trio of pass rushes that you see in the country with the Murphy twins and Liatu Latu going up against the Utah offense that hopefully you're going to see Cam Rising, I think. I think they held him out, and I think he's going to take the field this week. Dill, how are we feeling about this matchup right here?
I mean, I'm just gonna assume Cam Rising plays because anything I would say going forward, I would caveat. I mean, they've done okay, the backups for Utah.
Nate Johnson should have been I mean, no disrespect to Bryson Barnes, but that was Kyle Whittingham's a lot smarter than me, but Nate Johnson just gives that team just another dimension as backup. But yeah, Cam Rising playing. Dill, I want to start with the UCLA defense though, because I don't feel like UCLA gets enough credit for how good of defense that they're playing so far. I mean, you have 3 elite pass rushers, a really good set of linebackers, and then the secondary, even against a team that can really sling the ball, and Grayson McCall has been kind of up for the challenge so far.
Yeah, and they gave up a little bit of yards against Coastal Carolina for sure, but they're playing really tough in the red zone, and they're getting negative plays, especially with that defensive line, and that's what you'll be looking for, especially against the Utah team that traditionally doesn't like playing behind the sticks at all. It's kind of a system offense. Not system offense, but they like to stay ahead of it. They like to run the ball and not be faced with 3rd and longs because that really still isn't the personnel grouping in that wide receiver room for Utah. It's not a overly explosive room. I do think it's gotten better. Money Parks has played really well this year, but I do think if UCLA can really get after them up front, and in this Utah offensive line's been solid in the run game. I think you've seen some moments in the past, especially with a young left tackle who you can maybe target with a guy like Latu. That's kind of what I'm looking for is what this UCLA defense can do up front. Because last year, frankly, they did a really good job being physical and matching what Utah was doing.
2 storylines I'm looking for there is one, you're right, true freshman left tackle. And he was a 5-star dude. Safanu is a good player. That being said, this is by far his biggest test in terms of edge rushers that he'll be seeing. And then second, I mean, Utah wants to run the football. I think their ability to run the football was kind of hindered without Cam Rising because, pretty much everyone in the mother knew that they were going to be running the football a lot. They were fouling a lot of crowded boxes.
Also, Cam Rising's a monster part of that run game in his own right. I mean,
100%. But also his ability to push the ball down the field. I mean, you, especially in the Baylor game and even the Florida game, they weren't going to really push the ball down the field. So it was kind of easier to stop the run. You have Cam Rising back. You have to respect it. Now, that's probably my biggest, the biggest storyline is Utah's going to want to run the football behind a big physical offensive line, Jaquindon Jackson, a dude you don't want to tackle 25-plus times a game, versus a UCLA defense that's been really good against the run. And I guess that leads us into the pick, Dill. UCLA heading on the road, 5-ish point underdogs. Who are we rocking with here?
I think I like UCLA. And even last year, UCLA kind of took it to them. I just think this UCLA team, I mean, with Dante Moore added, they're way more explosive on offense. I think they can get out of situations last year that they couldn't always because they really couldn't push the ball as much as you wanted to see last year. And now you just have a new dynamic with the start of it.
You're really stabbing the Utah fans in the back here. I mean, for the last 18 months since the Rock Boys podcast has been a thing, you've been carrying the water for this Utah Utes team, and now you're going and taking a true freshman on the road against Utah. Now, I'm going to stop you right there, and I guess the tides are turning. Now I'm carrying the water for Kyle Whittingham in this underrated group, Dill. True, and this is This is not me not liking UCLA. I'm actually massive. I think UCLA is a very, very good football program that I think is a contender in the Pac-12. Dante Moore, his third career start, is going to be on the road at Utah against one of the best defenses we see in the country. Cam Rising coming back. It is so hard for me to bet against this Utah team coached by Kyle Whittingham when they got a true, as talented as Dante Moore is, true freshman early in his career.
My one big fear right now, I would say, is this: you just like turn the tape on and like, I know I kind of said I thought UCLA's offensive lines played well, but just that this defensive line kind of takes this game over. And if that happens, if Dante Moore, like, you make a couple mistakes, I do think this secondary right now is playing at such a high level.
So did I just change your mind?
Well, no, I don't think I have. I do think UCLA is going to be tough enough up front, and frankly, I just love Dante Moore and Sturdivant. I think that combo is elite. And on the other side of the ball, I think UCLA's front, interior, that defensive line and the linebackers are playing at a much higher level, especially that interior unit of the D line. They're playing really well. I think
this is, I trust me, like, this isn't me just like a no-brainer, Utah, give me the points here. Like, this UCLA team is awesome. That being said, I just like the spot with Cam Rising, I presume, coming back. This Utah team is just, I think it's going to be a wagon, and it's going to be really hard for true freshmen to go on the road and get this done. But this is going to be a massive game. I would love to hear from you guys again, whether you agree, whether you disagree. Let us know in the comment section who you guys are rocking with some keys to the game. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown the boys. We'll talk to y'all. We'll talk to y'all later. Appreciate you guys. Peace.